The Market Diversification Tool for international education can help you explore and compare potential markets for exporting education services. This video explains what data is used in the tool and how it is presented. An additional video on this page explains how to navigate the tool and use the interface. Your organization may export education services by providing classes online to students in other countries, by sending educators to teach students abroad, or by having international students come study at your institution in the United States. This tool can help you explore markets and focus your recruitment efforts. It combines 6 datasets that provide different perspectives on the industry. These include the value of U.S. education services exports by country, policies and regulations in other countries that could affect how you do business there, the number of international students studying in the United States by country of origin, state, education level, and gender, student entries into the U.S. by visa type and country, the number of college-level students studying abroad around the world, and demographic and income data for each market. The first 3 buttons on the left are for pages with U.S. education services export data by country and region. This data comes from the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis, which tracks and reports U.S. services trade data. You can see U.S. exports to a chosen region, a detailed breakdown of U.S. exports to a single country, or you can compare U.S. exports to multiple markets. On each of these pages, education services are classified into 2 categories. You can see the definitions by clicking the question mark icon here. The first category falls under personal travel services. This includes all the expenditures by students who travel to the United States to study and their dependents. This includes things like tuition, living expenses, and transportation within the United States. The second category falls under other personal, cultural, and recreational services. This includes correspondence courses and online classes provided to students in other countries, as well as educational services provided by Americans who travel abroad. You can select which category you want to see on the Selections pane. All trade data statistics in this section are reported in millions of dollars. You might see some blank values or values of 0 in the tables. Blank values indicate that either no data is available or the data has been suppressed to prevent the disclosure of data from individual companies. Values of $0 indicate that either the transactions were 0 for the period or the transactions were less than $500,000. To see the trade data with the notes, click on the asterisk button at the bottom of the visual. The 4th button on the left lets you explore countries' policies and regulations affecting service suppliers operating in those markets. This data comes from the ITIP Services Trade Policy Database, compiled by the World Bank and the World Trade Organization through country surveys. This is data on policies that affect all service sectors. So, the policies aren't specific to the education industry. This data is most useful to organizations operating in other markets by providing services online, sending teachers abroad, or by opening locations overseas. It is grouped into topics by category and subcategory, as well as the mode of supply. You can select these on the Selections pane. You can compare high-level data for a group of countries on the Compare Countries page. It will say whether a country has in place policies in the selected category. You can get more details on regulations implemented by a single country on the Single Country page. This may include references and links to specific laws or regulations. You can also download all the policy data for a single country. This button will take you to a page with a data table. Just click on the ellipsis button in the top right corner of the table and select Export Data. And click Export to export the data in the table. The fifth button will take you to a section with data on the number of international students in the United States. This data comes from the Department of Homeland Security's Student and Exchange Visitor Information System, which tracks and monitors non-immigrant students and exchange visitors in the United States. You can look at this data in several ways. There's data on students studying in the entire United States by country of origin. There's data on students by education level. This provides data on students pursuing different degrees and students in other types of programs, like vocational and language training schools. You can look at this data for a single country, as is shown here. Or you can look at multiple countries within a single education level. You can also see data by state. You can compare the number of students from one country studying in different states, which is what is shown here. Or you can see the breakdown of students studying in a selected state. You can also explore the data by gender, and with a specific focus on science, technology, engineering, and math students. The data from the Student and Exchange Visitor Information System is reported by month, but isn't reported every month. Some visuals, like the line charts, will show monthly data. Other visuals, like the tables, will show data based on the average annual number of students. The sixth button on the left is for data on the number of international student arrivals to the US by visa type and country of origin. This is reported by the Department of Homeland Security in its Yearbook of Immigration Statistics. It shows the number of students who entered the United States in a given fiscal year by visa type. The F1 visa for academic degree students, the J1 visa for exchange visitors, and the M1 visa for vocational students. You should note that this data represents the number of arrivals or entries into the US, not the number of unique individuals. You can compare multiple countries or look at data for a single country. The seventh button on the left takes you to the section on global data on internationally mobile college-level students. This data comes from the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, or UNESCO. It measures the annual number of tertiary, or college-level students, studying abroad by country of origin and by destination. You can compare multiple destinations or multiple countries of origin. Or you can look at a single destination or single country of origin. This page compares multiple destinations. You can choose which destinations you want to compare. This is where the students are studying abroad. Then you can choose countries of origin. This is where the students come from. If you choose a single country of origin, it will show data just for that country. If you choose more than one country of origin, it will sum the number of students from your selected countries of origin and treat them like a group. If you don't choose any countries, it will sum the number of international students for the whole world studying in each of the selected destinations. This works the same on the Compare Origins page. The data for the selected destinations is summed as a group. On the single destination page, you can choose to see data for the countries of origin you've selected. This will show you where the destination country ranks as a destination for students from each country of origin. This is the rank as destination. And where the country of origin ranks as a source of international students for the destination country. This is the rank as origin. It will also show the number of students from the country of origin as a share of all international students in the destination in that year. This is the share of destination. And as a share of all students studying abroad from the country of origin in that year. This is the share of origin. For a single destination, you can also look at the top countries of origin from the world or a selected region as measured by the total number of students from the countries of origin, growth in the number of students over time, or change in the share of students from the country of origin that are studying in the selected destination. You can also choose how many top countries you want to see. This works the same if you look at data from a single country of origin. You can see visuals for your selected destinations or the top destinations. The UNESCO data is reported by the destination countries. Not all countries report data, and data may be missing for some years. This may affect the calculated shares and trends. The 8th button on the left takes you to the section on demographic and income data. This data comes from the World Bank's World Development Indicators. It helps provide context to the data found elsewhere in the tool to help determine the number of potential students in each market. It includes data on a market's population and the number of people in key age groups more likely to be students. It also has education data on the percentage of the market's population having an advanced degree. The International Trade Administration has many other resources to help you with your exporting journey. Below the dashboard, you will find links to other resources for education service providers. The Education and Training Services Home is the main page for ITA's Education and Training Services team. Our Education and Training Services industry specialists use our presence in 200 global cities to assist with your international outreach to students, potential partners, and agents. This page also has a link to our biennial U.S. Commercial Service Education and Training Services Resource Guide, which can further help you identify market opportunities, trends, and demand in 60 markets. The second link below the dashboard is to our market intelligence for the education industry. Our trade professionals in more than 70 international offices help keep you informed about opportunities in key markets. The third link is for the Professional and Business Services team, which includes education, in ITA's Industry and Analysis Unit. This team advocates for and promotes the interests of U.S. education service providers and helps ensure the U.S. education exporters can provide their services across the globe. The fourth link is for our country commercial guides. These are reports prepared at U.S. embassies around the world on market conditions, opportunities, regulations, and business customs. We hope you found this tutorial on the data used in the Market Diversification Tool for international education useful. Please see additional information on this page on using the tool, including a video providing guidance on navigating the tool.